The sequel begins 3 years after the events in the first film on a hot summer day inside Max's apartment in downtown Manhattan. Max and Duke wait for their owner, Katie, to return, when they are woken up by a noise from next door. Max finds Gidget listening to Man-Eater by Hall & Oates and watching a Spanish show on TV. She asks them if they had any plans and they tell her that they were waiting for Katie to return, so Gidget tells them that she has a very busy day, too, and that she is going to see her best friend, Tiberius. Duke tells her that it sounds cool, but she sees Tiberius in her apartment and he tells her about a crazy dream he had about him and her flying together and leaves when he sees a storm rolling in as he flies back to his cage on the roof of the apartment. Gidget tells him that she has a surprise for him and shows it to him by telling Tiberius that she decorated his cage by painting it pink and organizing the bone sizes by species, but he didn't find it amusing when Gidget asked him if he liked it or not. Katie returns when the storm hits New York, causing Max and Duke to take cover, which causes a power outage in the entire city when a meteor strikes a telephone pole by blocking the road. The animal control van hits the telephone pole, causing the wires to make a powerful and fiery explosion, and the fire gets put out as an Afghan hound named Echo escape as the officers get arrested by the NYPD, but the siren lights go out as the van free falls into the river. The next day, Katie leaves and tells Max and Duke that she will be back, so he visits Gidget's apartment and she tells Max about a horrible nightmare she had, so she decides to hang with him and Duke at his apartment. All of a sudden, a vicious dog named Kyle attacks Max and Gidget throws him out of the apartment before one of her owners accidentally shoots himself in the foot as the flaming heat blisters the cage. Duke runs away to find Max, but finds Echo in a dumpster with Ozone and his alley cat army, causing a riot as Duke grabs Echo when they get chased by them to Max's apartment with her. Meanwhile, Lucy asks Gru to help find her missing dog, but he refuses to help and he and Lucy leave in her car, which drives off the pier and falls into the ocean, so they escape and Gru tells her that he has placed a bomb in the trunk of the car and blows it up with one push of a button for his flying scooter and they fly off into the sunset. The close-up flash from the explosion could be seen for millions of miles away as a pipeline bursts from underwater as a crack snakes its way along the ground. Later that night, Echo wakes Gidget up to tell her that she has a crush on Duke. Just as Duke was heading home to find Max, he is stopped by animal control, but runs away by biting one of the officers, causing the officers to chase, tranquilize, and capture Duke by aiming at him, roping, and caging him. Echo, Gidget, and Max watch South Park, until they find out by Tiberius that Duke is going to be sent back to the pound, leaving Gidget alarmed and didn't know what to do, so Echo warns Katie about Duke as she and Gidget run away. Gidget jumps onto Echo to keep a close eye on Kyle and get chased by Bella and his army of bad cronies. After they escape through the secret route, Bella is not amused and flies away with his bad cronies. The next evening, they decide to camp out in the park and Gidget sees that Max is worried about Duke and tell her that if he was here that nothing would have happened as Echo slept through the night and decides to give up, but Gidget refuses. Meanwhile, Duke slept at the pound, thinking about his memories of him and Max and escapes his cage and howls at the moon. The next morning, the pets continue the search for Duke by posting missing posters all over the city and asking other pet owners, until they get to the pound. Gidget leads them to the pound and explains the plan to Echo and sings a song to her on their way to rescue Duke. Echo loves it as they break into the pound and rescue Duke, but end up getting chased by evil minions when the plan failed. They hide underground in the sewer where the Viper slept by jumping off a cliff of some balancing rocks, so they play a daring game of 2 truths and a lie with the evil minions still pursuing them through the city streets and back again 3 times. So Gidget farts on them as they pass out and Echo tells her that she is trying to escape from animal control and that it was her fault by apologizing to Gidget as she accepts her apology. When Gidget runs up a spiral staircase and gets to the rooftop of the building, She is too late and surprised to find Echo surrounded by the evil minions, but Gidget kicks them away as she and Echo fall backward off the roof, causing Echo to run away and get chased by Animal Control with Duke cheering her on. This made Gidget cross, so she, Max, and Duke chase after the officers on Gru's motorcycle before it was too late. As they were on the highway, the motorcycle swerves through an intersection and goes airborne through a billboard and into a construction zone as it crashes through the city, sending it flying over an embankment and malfunctions, causing it to fall to the ground, and the three pets tumble off as it is sent into an alley of parked cars. Gru closes in on them with his flying scooter, which has a magnetic ship with mechanical body armor imitates Gidget, but it explodes, sending him flying across the city and into a pile of garbage in a garbage truck as it sends him to the city dump. Echo is later caught by Animal Control, causing her to get shot with a missile be sent back to the pound, but the officer misses and tases her, but she pins them to the ground and gets her mouth duct taped. The three pets stop, leaving Gidget shocked, and the evil minions chase Duke and Max through the city streets, but Kyle stops Gidget, who blows a raspberry at him and is thrown into a mud pit. The evil minions dogpile onto Max, who tells Duke to go on without him, and Gru plans to get his revenge on Gidget by getting rid of her and Echo for good by commanding his angry mob of evil minions to kill them. Gidget gulps in worry as her heart skipped a beat and gives Gru a dirty look. Echo is found by Duke, but Kyle stops him from rescuing her. Gru and Lucy see Duke on the roof of the pound, and Echo is finally set free from her cage by Snowball with his carrot key, but is surrounded by evil minions. Lucy finds her dog, but Duke tackles her to the ground. Gidget lunges out of the mud pit and attacks Gru by delivering a punch to his mouth and knocking his teeth out, which knocks him down and out as he gets pinned to the roof with his butt lodged inside the building, leaving a big gaping hole and him unconscious. But he gets up and grabs Max as he and Lucy escape as chaos erupts around the city. Gidget calls Mel, Pops, Chloe, Buddy, Norman Tiberius, Peppy, and Sweet Pea, who are watching Chloe's video in her apartment to come rescue them, causing Chloe to lose patience. Later that evening, Duke, Echo, and Gidget are rescued with a grappling rope, but Gidget slips and falls over the balcony, so Echo leans over it and grabs her. The rope snaps as it tears loose with the four of them hanging for dear life, and they fall to the ground, landing on top of each other. They spot Gru with Kyle, Max, and Lucy in the Animal Control van and save Max as it hits several trees on purpose and head for the highway, where the Brooklyn Bridge was being repaired as they knock down several road closed signs. Gidget has thought of an even better plan to make them pay the price for their actions by knocking the evil minions into the ocean with her kung fu skills and chasing after the van weaves in and out of traffic when she was about to say something very important, but was suddenly interrupted by gasping and hears a loud creaking vibration that sounded like an aftershock of the evil minions start chomping down the bridge where the van was crossing as it strikes the pillars that support the bridge. While crossing the median, causing a screw to pop loose and the bridge cables to snap and tilt halfway, but it stops a few inches before falling apart as an oncoming cruising warship slices the bridge in half by firing a warning shot as it sinks, leaving many people stranded on board and causing the ship to capsize. So Gidget does a battle cry and lands on the windshield with Tiberius and is thrown aside and almost gets crushed by an oncoming 18-wheeling tanker truck with a big barrel of gasoline tied up. But when it hits the bridge, it collapses into the water, causing Gru to blow out one of the truck's tires with some flying sparks and spike strips when Max saves her as the oncoming van tilts, explodes, and catches fire, causing it to flip several times after going way too fast and trying to avoid the rolling barrel tied up with TNT, which came loose from the tractor trailer, causing a huge and fiery 10-car pile-up after one of them hit a pothole and got a flat tire, but Gidget and Max are knocked backward by the blast, sending Gidget flying and hit the road, making her get a black eye and her vision blurry as the van slides, tips over, and skids to a stop as a tsunami of debris flies everywhere, dangling dangerously over the water, causing it to break down in an oily situation. As the dust settles, Gru and Lucy bail out, along with the other pets, leaving Gidget and Max behind, and the van plunges into the water with her and Max on board, stopping traffic and causing the bridge to collapse into the ocean as Duke watches in horror as the truck hits the water in slow motion with a loud splash, causing the van to sputter as smoke poured from the engine. Gidget sees that her tail was on fire and jumps high into the air and into the water as it douses the flames, leaving the van severely damaged. The pets run and duck for cover and make it to safety, but Echo doesn't as the bridge separates further, leaving Gru and Lucy speechless. Echo struggles to swim to safety, gasping for air, so Gidget saves her by grabbing her paw. As they jump to safety, Gidget gets bit on the leg by an evil minion, causing her to scream in pain and fall into the ocean and sink as Echo drags her to safety as they battle the evil minions, and the evil minions get stuffed into the van and sink to the bottom of the ocean and were left to die in pet cages, and locks Gru in the van, but breaks free, meaning that Gidget's plan worked. After the fight, Gidget and Echo come out of the ocean onto a metal scaffold from the support barrier with a daydreaming sigh of relief and spats out some water, but the dam breaks and Echo gets trapped, but Gidget rescues her and pulls her back onto the bridge and didn't know that she couldn't swim, but as the bridge shifts violently, Gidget falls into a sinkhole and into the ocean and goes over the falls, along with a bell tower, and gets swept away, causing an avalanche that makes her plan backfire and feel defeated. The pets tell Echo that they have to leave, while crossing the bridge, but she refuses and doesn't want to leave Gidget behind, but the pets tell that it was too dangerous and to go, causing her eyes to weld up with worry. After the avalanche fades to black, Gidget moves the rocks out of the way and lies motionless at the bottom of the ocean. Later, Tiberius rescues her. Gidget feels queasy and spats out some water and tries to stand up. The pets knock down one of the bridge pillars to make a bridge for Gidget to cross to the other side of the broken bridge, but collapses on swollen leg as Tiberius tries to fly her home so that her leg can be patched up, but it gets tangled in TNT, which was placed inside a gun. She accidentally fires a grazing bullet and lights a fuse and tries to blow it out, but explodes in mid-air as she closes her eyes tightly as Max gasps with the glass cracking and breaking as he dangles dangerously over the water. He tries to find her, but is nowhere to be seen. Max tells Echo that Gidget is dead, making her feel sorry, but discovers that she was alive, causing all the pets to cheer for her bravery, but sigh when she hits a frozen pillar, causing her to lose her balance and slip, but Max saves her from falling after a geyser melts the ice and she and Echo tied up and pull a wrecking ball and hurl it down a hill into the water with a time bomb. Later, Gru and Lucy are caught by a NYPD helicopter searchlight after the fire gets put out, and Kyle is sent back to the pound as the pets get the cars to safety on the other side of the bridge by moving the dividers as the time bomb in the ocean blows up the rest of the bridge underwater, leaving flames on the water, causing a crack at the bottom of the ocean, which launches a landmass upward as Gidget glances down at the lava and the van is fished out of the ocean, causing the water to drain out, but the drainage stops when Gidget blocks it with the bridge dividers as the other cars fall into the ocean. Max finds Gidget crying as they watch the rest bridge crumbles into the water, so Max comforts her by telling her not to worry about a thing and that everything will be alright, which makes Gidget stop crying, but she felt better after Max saved her, so she thanks him as they watched the sun set over the horizon and race back home with the other pets. That night, Katie returns to find Max and Duke still missing, but they arrive at the apartment with Echo, who needs a home. She decides to stay at Gidget's apartment and Duke agrees with Gidget. She and Echo were going to be best friends forever. Max asks Katie to take care of Gidget, her eye and her leg as it heals, so Katie lets Gidget's owners stay with them for dinner, including Echo, who kisses Duke, and Katie hugs Max as they slept through the night when the other pet owners returned home to see their pets, while Gru is sentenced to 10 months in prison for his despicable actions because he thought that the animal control van was an ambulance. 10 months later, the bridge was fixed. Echo is returned to Lucy, who stays at Gidget's apartment, and the teeth mark on Gidget's leg was gone and it took a month for her eye to heal. Echo invites Duke and Max to a party at Gidget's apartment and asks Katie, who was reading the New York Times Pomeranian Saves the Day, agrees, and they party all night long as Max and Gidget share a smile and kiss as the pets party through the city into the morning light as fireworks explode into the sky. Meanwhile, Gru gets fired from the ABL and starts torturing Kyle as his twin brother, Drew, and the minions tease him after being turned back to normal, along with an American Eskimo dog named Rango Brown. The pets do some post-credit bloopers during the credits, while after the credits Echo is watching South Park with Gidget, and Gidget's owners allow her and Echo to stay with Max and Duke, until they and Lucy return. Lucy agrees with them. Max and Duke were happy and Echo and Duke share a smile, ending the sequel as the logo appears and fades to black after Gidget angrily attacks the camera before and after the credits scroll up as she and Chloe dance the night away as the screen explodes and fades to black. But Chloe, Gidget and Lucy saw rabbits and green pigs has a Uber 2019 Acura MDX with an Odyssey flying and they were surprised.